Hey, what's up guys? It's Jordan from TeasersBooks, and today I'm going to be doing my July wrap-up. So in the month of July, I participated in Read Away the Summer Readathon. It was a month-long readathon where you try to read books selected into different categories or challenges, and I listed a bunch of books, and I was determined to read one, and so let's see if I read it or not. Okay, that was weird. So first I'm going to say the challenge, and I'm going to say what book I wanted to read at the beginning of the month that went with this challenge, then I'm going to say the book that I actually read, because some of them I didn't end up changing them and they just happened to fit into a category. So the first one is a book that starts with a vowel, and I told myself that I was going to read I'll Give You the Sun by Jenny Nelson, and instead I read Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. I did a full book review on my channel for this, spoiler full, and I did a little blurb of what I thought of it at the beginning, so if you want to see my thoughts on this book, you can click somewhere on this window and it'll take you there and you can watch it after or during or whenever during this video. I did like this book. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The only reason I didn't give it 5 stars was because it was kind of insta-lovey. Talk about that more in my book review. It was good. I'm reviewing it from my local bookstore, so I'm happy I got to read one of these books this month because I always try to read one book that was given to me by my bookstore a month. Hopefully that will continue in the month of August. The next book is a male author, and I told myself I was going to read Holes. That is the one book that I really wanted to read, and I read it. I read it in one sitting, and Holes by Louise Satcher, and I loved it so much. I'm so happy I got a chance to read it. I ended up watching the movie the next day, I think, and I just love the movie. I love the book. It's just so good. I'm so happy I read this. I finally could say I read Holes. It's so good. Holes about a boy named Stanley Yelnats. He ends up getting convicted of a crime that he didn't commit, and so he's sent to this camp called Camp Green Lake, and he was like, well, I've never been to camp before, so I think that's better than jail. And then it turns out that it's basically like a slave camp where you have to dig a hole 5 feet deep by 5 foot wide every day. He doesn't know why they're digging the holes and he's determined to find out, and it's so good, guys. I'm so happy I read this. So this is a male author, so it counts for that category. So the female author that I read was Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This was the book that I picked to read at the beginning of the month, so I'm glad I succeeded. This book was very intimidating and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I'm so happy I finished this. I find that her books, they're so good, but I find like it takes a lot of effort for me to sit down and read a bunch of pages at once. I kind of have to steady myself, which is why I think reading her books takes me so long. Not super long, but longer than I would like. I would love to just race through it in like 2 days. This book's the second book in the Throne of Glass series. Throne of Glass is about a girl named Selena Sadothian, and she is in the Endover mines, which is basically a slave camp because she used to be the Ardalan's most notorious assassin, and then she is taken from Endover by the Crown Prince, and she's put through a contest kind of like the Hunger Games. It's like Game of Thrones and the Hunger Games mixed together. And if she wins, she becomes the king's assassin, and then in a few years she'll be free. And so she obviously wants to do the contest because she knows that even though she has to work for him for a long time, she'll die in the salt mines if she stays there. And it's really good, and the second book was just as good. I am so excited for the third book. I want to know what happens. Next is a book set in a different country, and I didn't really pick one for this just because none of them are set in the country I live in, so I chose Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon. This takes place in California, and it also takes place in Hawaii. A book that starts with the letter of your first name. I didn't have a book that starts with the letter J that I haven't read on myself, which is technically pretty good, which means I don't have as many books as I think I do. I told myself I would read one with the same author, with an author who has the same first letter of their first name as me, and it was going to be I'll Give You the Sun by Jenny Nelson, and I didn't complete that one. I did read All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, so it still counts. Recommended to me by one of my friends who read the book and is in love with it, and I really enjoyed it. It's about a boy named Finch, and one day he's standing on top of the clock tower at school, and he's considering jumping but not really, and then he looks over and there's another girl standing next to him, and he doesn't know what's going on with her because she's super popular and he doesn't get why she'd be up there and stuff, and they kind of connect through a school project, and it's just really good, and it was so good. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, or 5. I can't remember what I gave it actually, but it was still really good all the same. I highly recommend this book if you haven't read it yet. The next one is a hype book you've never read. I guess I can say Holes because it's like a children's book and a lot of people have read it. Next is a classic, which I did not complete. I told myself I was going to read a classic, possibly Tale of Two Cities. but I didn't. I want to read Wuthering Heights one day, but I don't know if it's going to happen, but I hope it does. Next one is a recommended book. One of the books that was recommended to me was Holes, when my friends told me I had to read it after they found out I didn't, which I completed. And the other book that I read that was recommended to me was All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven by another friend of mine. Favorite genre, anything that is like related to powers and stuff. And well, I didn't read the Every Last Breath book because I didn't get my hands on it the day it came out because my chapters didn't have it for some reason. Stupid chapters. I ended up rereading the Lux book, Opal, the third book in the Lux series. The Lux series is about a girl named Katie who moves into this new town and she ends up moving next door to aliens, and it kind of goes from there, and it's really good. It's one of my favorite series of all times. I talked about it in my top 10 book series, and it's actually my first video if you want to check it out. The next challenge was a male protagonist, and I was going to read I'll Give You the Sun because one of the twins is a male, but I ended up reading All the Bright Places, who has Finch, is the main character, and he's a boy, so it counts, yay! Next one is a female protagonist, and my female protagonist was Selena Sadathian, the most kick-ass female character like ever, from Crowd of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. She proved herself to be even more kick-ass in this book than in the first book, just saying. A book I should have read in school but didn't, you're probably guessing this by now, but Holes by Louise Satcher. Not that I didn't read the book, it's just that we watched the movie but we didn't read the book, and I think that they should have made us read the book first, but you know, apparently not. Book turned movie, Holes by Louise Satcher. This one counts, but also, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I read Isle of the Lost by Melissa de la Cruz, and this is the prequel series to the Disney Descendants movie. So she wrote the book, and then it continues on with the movie that it premiered on Family Channel, or Disney Channel. It's called Family Channel here. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. It was good, but I think the only reason I really enjoyed it was because it was Disney characters. All the evil Disney characters were banished to this island called Isle of the Lost, and all their powers and magic were taken away from them. And so they all start to have kids and everything, and then the kids set off on this quest to find Maleficent's sphere called Dragon's Eye. They set off to find the Dragon's Eye. So it's the daughter of Maleficent, the son of Cruella de Vil, the son of Jafar, and the daughter of the evil queen from Snow White. Also see perspective from Beauty and the Beast's kid. I'm really excited to see the movie, although because I haven't seen it yet, but I heard it was really good, and it's kind of like, it looks to me kind of like the Disney, like the complete Disney version of High School Musical, because there is dance scenes in it and stuff, so great. I'm so excited. Next one was an intimidating book. I was going to read Room by Emma Donoghue, but I sadly did not complete this. I'm hopefully going to complete it this month or in September, but I'm not sure. So that one was one of the ones I didn't complete. Next one is a lesser known title or author, and it was going to be The Replaced by Kimberly Durning, just because I really have to read that book. I really wanted to read it, and now I have it, and I haven't read it yet, and I don't know why, and I really have to. I ended up putting everything just because it's a brand new book and it's not out yet and a lot of people don't know about it, so that's the one I chose for that challenge. Next one is a book in a series, so it was Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas, the second book. Next was my favorite reread, and I reread one book, and it was Opal by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I did kind of skim through Origin, but not like completely read it. Opal, I literally read like the whole book. I just skimmed some of the parts that was just plot building because I already know what happens. This one is a new genre, and it was going to be Room, and I ended up choosing All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven because I've never read a book like this before with different kinds of mental disabilities and mental issues. I kind of want to read more now that I've got a little taste of it, but at the same time I'm scared because I know the books are going to be sad. And the last one is a book of your choice. I ended up choosing Isle of the Lost because this one I really wanted to read this month, and I decided to go for it even though it wasn't on the list to begin with. So that's it for my July wrap up. I'm pretty happy with my number. I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I read 5 books plus a reread, so 6 in total, which is pretty good. Hopefully I can do better in August, and I technically already am because I just participated in the booktubeathon, and before the booktubeathon started, I finished a book that I had started in July but couldn't finish before July was over. So yeah, I'm already like, what, 6 books in, and it's only the first week and a half? It's only been like, it's not even been 2 weeks yet, so yay. What did you guys end up reading in the month of July? I would love to know. Once again, you can follow me on my Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, and my blog. I'll put the links down below. Thanks for watching, and keep on reading, guys. Bye! Okay. Now to film my TBR. Da -na 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 -na.